Hi, everyone. It is Sarah Burr here with you this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me for this Canva focus stream that we're doing today. Canva is my go-to platform when it comes to designing all things for my social media, for anything book promotion related, designing bookmarks, postcards, book plates, you name it. Canva is such a powerhouse. And when it comes to being able to create designs quickly so that I can optimize my time for writing, it's just been a lifesaver. So today we are going to be exploring the new options that Canva has introduced this week. It's their Magic Studio. And I myself am still learning the ropes of everything that they have released and that they have to offer. But I figured, what better way to learn what's new and explore how it can work for us authors than if we do it together. So hence my stream here today. Thank you very much if you're joining me live. I really appreciate you being here. If you have questions for me during the presentation, again, I'm just going to be working within the platform. It's going to be very casual and kind of probably a little bit more chaotic than some of my previous streams because I'm doing this for the first time. These are new tools that I have yet to master. So you can really see how an end user of the program, is faced with new features, new elements, and how easy it can be or how hard it can be to learn everything and keep moving forward. So if you do have questions for me, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel first and foremost in order to keep out spammers from our chat. I have made the chat just subscriber only. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe and it helps me grow my channel. So any help is appreciated. And so without further ado, let's dive into Canva and talk about everything that is new here today. So you guys should be seeing my Meet the Magic Studio home screen. This, and the reason why it's called Magic Studio is because we have a lot of AI that we're using. And I know that AI is a very, very complicated subject matter. There's a lot of discourse in the author community about how AI can be harmful and how it can be helpful. And my position on AI, and I'm just going to say this up front, just to kind of set my own boundaries and ground rules, is if I am, when it's appropriate, I think the AI is a great tool. I do not think AI is appropriate when it comes to creating book covers. I make a lot of my own book covers. However, when I come up to a idea or a theme in my mind that I don't know how to execute myself as a graphic designer, I would not rely on AI to deliver that for me. I would enlist the help of a skilled professional and allow that artist to create their work. I am very adamant against using AI to create end products, I guess, such as audiobooks, as book covers, and heaven forbid, writing a whole book using AI. However, where I feel AI can be beneficial to the people who are creating those items is the daily content that we are expected to generate in order to promote our books, in order to promote our author brand, and helping us free up our brain and our time so that we can do what we're best at, which is writing. If I can cut down on the time that I spend creating social media graphics, I'm going to do it. And the new tools that Canva has introduced have really blown my mind looking at them at a high level, and how they can really help me manage my book series, manage my anything that I'm doing from like an author event standpoint. They really, really have the opportunity to help me minimize the time that I spend making these designs so that I can actually focus on getting my books written, because that is what is most important. So let's take a look at what some of the offerings are in the Magic Studio. We're going to begin in a place where, if you've watched one of my streams before, you'll know that I absolutely love and think that a Canva Pro membership is totally worth it for this one simple feature that they have, and it's our brand kits. For folks who may not be familiar or do not use Canva Pro, when it comes to investing in yourself as an author, I really, really encourage you to think about how you want to present yourself, how you want to present your books to the world, and think about what ways you can, what tools, what items, what resources you have that can really enhance your books being out in the world and getting them to readers, getting them in front of readers, growing your audience, growing your brand. And that's where I think a Canva Pro membership really pays it back tenfold. I cannot tell you how often I find myself relying on Canva's features that are only available through their Pro membership in order to, create a design to help sell my book, to create an event graphic, to create a bookmark, to create a postcard, what have you. There are so many great free features in Canva, but I tell you, the items that they have developed that are a part of their Pro package have really, really enhanced my ability to create these designs effortlessly and not have to take all this time and building and reconfiguring things and all of that stuff to really set these up. So the brand kit, my absolute favorite thing about Canva, hands down. And the reason why is because the brand kit allows me to create different, basically different toolboxes to work from, whether it's series based. You can see that I have a lot of my series listed here. I have the our Bookish Hour podcast. I have a brand kit assembled for that. I have one for just my author brand. So anything that's just related to me writing, maybe it's an update post, maybe it's a blog post that I need a image for. I'm going to be using that brand kit. And of course, I just have my cozy mystery vibes that anytime that I'm creating something that just is maybe captures all my different book series, or just, I'm posting something that is really about the cozy theme, I can just readily access all that, those colors, those fonts, those icons all in one place. And that's where this time-saving capability comes in tenfold. We're going to work, I'm going to kind of break down the new feature within the brand kit that I actually just discovered this morning and think is super, super cool. Very interesting, and we'll kind of go through the process of creating a design using all of these new features. So I'm going to use the brand kit that I've created for my new book blogger mysteries, and you can see that I have my logos popping up right away. So anytime that I am using this particular brand kit, I'm always going to have access to those images, and you'll see that I have a color palette selected. Here I have put together the colors that are used on the cover of my new book, or that they've been used in the book trailer that I've created for my new book. And it's just kind of building that palette of colors to help readers identify this book series with these images, so that anytime that I'm creating something using these colors, it's going to trigger subconsciously in the minds of readers, oh, this must be a book blogger post. And then as I begin to post more and more, you can see, if you're out in the world and you see these colors, you're going to have that subliminal marketing available to you where it's magenta, bright pink, and teal. Is that a book blogger thing? Oh, no, it's not. But now I'm thinking about Sarah Burr's books. And it's a really nice way to build recognition on the internet and have it kind of transform and flow into the real world itself. So you can create your color palettes based on images or logos, or however, what colors you feel design best embody your series or your brand. Canva has some really nice palettes that they've already put together. My book blogger mysteries takes place on, the rocky beaches of Massachusetts. So I'm using a lot of sea colors as well. And Canva has a really nice palette for that. We have our font section, which if you guys follow me on social media, you know how much I love a good font, and how I think a font in the very same way of colors can really help readers associate with your book. So I'm using the fonts that I use on my book cover. I'm using the fonts that I am using to promote on my website. I'm having those all integrated into my brand kit, and to help that association, so that when somebody sees the font, they're like, that's got to be, a book blogger mystery post that Sarah is talking about. Another tip for you is, if you are working closely with your publisher, you can ask them, hey, what is the font style that you use for my title? What is the font style that you use for the series title? Because then you can use those in your brand kit as well, so that you're creating that recognition. Even though it's something that you haven't designed in Canva, you can take those elements and add them into your brand kit. Another great thing about Canva Pro is that you can add in your own font types. So if you're able to find a font online, there's Google Fonts, which is a free font library, and free to use for commercial licensing as well. So you can find fonts through Google that are free. My favorite website is myfonts.com. You do have to pay for the fonts that are there, but you pay for the licensing, and you can use them on ebook covers. You can use them on images that you post onto your website. You can use them on social media. It's awesome. And I love going font shopping. That's one of my favorite things. That when I'm getting ready to promote a series, I actually really sit down and say, what are the fonts that I'm going to use routinely to identify and design for content for this particular book series. Now, the new thing that I want to point out is this brand voice. And I've been having a lot of fun with this, and you can see that it's very basic what the brand voice is asking you to do. It's one of their new AI tools. So I'm just going to click on this, try your brand voice. And you can see here that for the book blogger mysteries, I'm kind of putting in my mind if I was my main character, Winnie Lark. And if I was to generate content, and when I say generate content, I'm talking about like captions on a Instagram post, or, I always have a really tough time. I have a nice picture of my book. I have a nice background, but what do I say to encourage readers to buy the book? Because at the end of the day, I just want readers to read what I'm writing. And it's not very creative just to say, read my book on an image. So what are ways that I can entice somebody to actually read my work? And that's where I often struggle. And that's where I think AI can be really helpful, because it can help generate copy for those instances. And what this brand voice is doing is it is gathering information about what the tone and, what your mission is, what you're all about. And if you think about how Canva is structured, Canva is really made for small businesses and individuals who are trying to promote their brand. And I think authors fit really nicely into that category, because we are a business, and we are trying to promote ourselves as individuals, but we're also trying to promote our work. So having this brand voice in mind, anytime that I want to come up with copy for a book blogger post, I can have Canva reference this brand voice to help me generate the words that I need to succinctly say, hey, read my book, but have it be much more engaging and much more, much easier for a reader to say, oh, that's a thoughtful post, rather than that's just a demand. So this brand voice, I have been playing around with what exactly they're asking for, and it's very basic. It's really, what is the tone of the content that you're posting and that you're sharing? And you can see here that it's my voice is friendly, casual, and cozy, because that's the type of atmosphere type of theme that I want posts from the Book Blogger Mysteries to emulate, because that's, they're a cozy mystery. They're supposed to be welcoming. They're supposed to be warm. They're supposed to be cozy. And because they are book themed, I'd like there to be the opportunity for there to be book themed puns and book themed copy that's generated for these items. Now, because I just clicked on it from my brand kit, try your brand voice in a design. I think it's defaulted to a document. And this is where I have to kind of take a step back from the wonders of AI and really approach it from a writing standpoint. It's like, I'm never going to create a whole document from AI, because that's not what a writer does. But if I was to generate something for a social media post, let's say, that's where I could use this generate an item in this brand voice. I am curious what the results will be. So for the sake of learning, I'm just going to click generate in this brand voice. And what is going to pop up is a little pop-up box that is asking you to use 5 or more words to describe what you want to write. So let's see. Let's have fun. Let's say a social media caption for for a new book series. All right, so we've got 5 or more words. Let's see what happens. All right, so one thing that I have yet to figure out is it takes what I wanted them to write, and then it gives me additional information. It actually gives me what the output is. So let's zoom in a little bit here. We've got attention all book lovers. And if we take a look here, you're like, wow, these fonts are like really fun. And where the heck did these fonts come from? If I go up to our font menu here, you can see that it's actually pulling from the brand kit. So we've got my heading, which is this particular font type, and then the body. So it's using the fonts that were assigned in my brand kit to those items. And it looks like, let's see here. So it says document styles, heading and body. I wonder if we're able to, it would be interesting to see if I could switch it up. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So easy as just selecting it. So even though the document styles are heading and body, it does allow you to switch things up. I'm going to go up here and we can see that heading is checked. Move it over to that subtitle. And so we get different configurations. But this looks like it'll be the default here. So let's take a look at what the AI actually generated for a social media caption. So attention all book lovers. Get ready to dive into the thrilling world of the Book Blogger Mysteries coming this October. What I'm loving is the emojis. Follow our protagonist, a book blogger with a knack for solving mysteries, as she delves into the dark side of the literary world. With twists and turns on every page, this new series is sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. So grab a cozy blanket, a hot cup of tea, and get lost in the pages of the Book Blogger Mysteries. Who knows, you might even discover your new favorite read. And then we have some nice hashtags that come with it. And so I don't know about you, but coming up with a caption like this would at least take me 15 minutes. Captions are not my favorite thing. As much as I love words, I love pictures on social media, not so much the words. So this is such a huge time saver, because now I can go in and I can begin tweaking it to actually work for me. Winnie isn't delving into the dark side of the literary world. She's trying to solve a mystery in her harborside town. And so once I have the bones of what the AI has provided, I can go in and make adjustments myself, so that it follows more true to what my book is actually about. But you're noticing that we've got those cozy elements that my brand voice had. Grab a cozy blanket, a hot cup of tea. There's a lot of page and book themed wordplay going on here. So this is really this is amazing to me, because again, like this would take me 15 or more minutes to come up with a cute, catchy caption after I've already spent the time making the design itself. And not to mention, it gives me the hashtags, which hashtags are like a mystery of their own. So to get hashtags that are used, and these aren't things that are that Canva is just saying, oh, like willy-nilly hashtags. These are going to be hashtags that are being used repetitively online, so that there is some so that you're more likely to grab the attention of folks who are following those particular hashtags. New series alert, cozy mystery, book lovers unite. Probably, I don't think book blogger mysteries is a hashtag yet. Who knows? Maybe I've been living under a rock. But it's really cool to see how all of this came together, especially with the book themed wordplay, the emojis. This is really nice. And this is a really great tool. And you can see like how much time that would save you when you're coming up with a design. So we've done a little bit of experimenting about this new brand voice. And again, that is something that is from the brand kit itself. And Rosalie, I noticed your comment about the emojis like being book themed. Like it amazes me what this is able to take from, very basic information that I provided and really give something that is pretty on point. I don't know if you guys have done a lot of experimentation with AI. I like to have conversations with it on my Microsoft Bing, whatever the Bing AI person is called. And I often find that like when I say, give me a picture of my protagonist, Duchess Jacqueline from my Court of Mystery series, and it will spit back information of like, oh, like Duchess Jacqueline has blue eyes and blonde hair. And I'm like, no, she doesn't. And, so it's like, well, where is that information coming from? So it's interesting to see like how bits and pieces are put together, because some of the information that you have is correct and some of it is not. So it's always, I use it as a building block, because I would get this text and I would build upon it and change it to really work for my book itself. And again, that was just directly created from the brand voice. And that's one of the new features that they have implemented regarding AI. I don't think anything else really is new in the brand kit itself. So let's go to a design. Let's actually do some work on everything that they have. And there was one feature that I wanted to start off with, because if we are in this Meet Magic Studio area where it says use 5+ words to describe your design, you can just let's say I'm going to do, I need to design a banner for an ARC sign up sheet, collecting email addresses to send e-ARCs to for readers and reviewers. So I'm just going to type that in and see what happens. Because who knows if this is going to know even what ARC means. A banner for an ARC sign up for a new book. So we have some things that are popping up here. These are templates that are inherently available in Canva. This isn't stuff that is being created via AI. The thing that does indicate that it's being created via AI is this when the magnifying glass has little sparkles by it. And so this one is a flyer for a library's new book club, encouraging readers to sign up. And so if I were to click on that, it would generate exactly what, a flyer for a library's new book club. But there are a lot of suggested templates down here. Some of them have nothing to do with actually what I'm searching for. But what I want to take a look at is the start from media. And the start from media is something that I was playing around with, and you can kind of see the pictures that I've been using. One is of my dog, Evie. And a lot of these are actually AI generated images. because I find that if I need a background for a particular design, that AI has been really helpful in generating that background for me. So a banner for an ARC sign up sheet. Let's see here. I also love creating characters, people who look like my characters. All right. One thing that I do wish here, that I could select from folders other than uploads. I have not figured out how to do that yet. I'm hoping that that'll eventually be a feature, because I actually save a lot of my items in folders, so that every folder is in its place. So all my book blogger stuff is in one folder. All of my trending topic mysteries is in another. I really don't do a whole lot from uploads, except that's where all of the AI images get saved by default. So that's why you're seeing a lot of those loaded here. So I'm going to select this bookshelf image, because I actually just designed a social media post this morning using that image. So I've got that listed. So from there, I selected that post, and now what is being sent back to me are a bunch of the templates. And how this worked for me earlier is when I created that banner, or I selected that image, all of these updated to reflect that item. So I just want to go into projects and see if that's going to help. No, it's not. So I'm going to do, because it is a banner and this is a book themed banner, I'm going to click on this one and see what happens. So this is International Children's Book Day. This is a print option. So this is a banner landscape. This is an actual banner. So we're going to have to do some manipulation, but that's a good thing, because there's a lot of new redesign and reformatting that we can look at on the design part of things. So let's see. I want a big banner. Customize this template. All right. So we have this International Children's Book Day, and probably the only thing that I'm going to be using from this design is this nice little border of books that are down here. Because again, I want to create basically an image to put up on the top of a sign-up sheet, probably a Google document. And Google allows you to upload PNG files as the header of your forms that users can fill out. So I'm going to start there. And by using this magic switch, this is one of the tools that is used to resize and reformat any designs that you make. Another really cool feature is translating. So if for some reason, your books are big in Germany, they're big in Japan, they're big in a country that, it would behoove you to use their language versus the English language, you have the opportunity to have all of your work translated, which I just think is incredible. I'm not going to do that now, because if I translate this, I'm going to get so lost. But we just know that it's an option that is available. You could also transform it into a document. And this is where, again, that I would kind of take a step back from what AI can do for you, because, needing a summary or a blog post, I'm a writer. I don't need a computer to write a blog post for me. As much as I struggle with blog posts, I want that to be my voice and not a robot's. So I'm going to go ahead, and because we were working with the print design, I'm actually going to switch it over to, let's look at social media. And I'm going to go, you can see how everything's really nicely broken down via platform. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go to Facebook cover. Continue. And what this is doing is it's resizing it to those pixel specifications. Right now, we were in like inches. And it's also going to take away this print information that's on the right-hand side of the screen. So I can copy and resize, or I can resize this particular design. When you are doing this, be very, very careful, because I usually will copy and resize because I want to keep whatever I was initially copying as like the base or the base template. But in this case, we're like, I'm not going to use this ever again. I just want to resize it to what I need it to be. You'll see that my screen changes. We're back to having templates. We're back to digital media rather than print media. And from here, I'm going to open up my brand kit. So coming up here to the brand box, I'm going to switch on over to my Book Blogger Mysteries so that I can use the logos. I can use the different color palettes that I have. If I need to generate some type of content, some type of caption, I have the option to do that with the brand voice. One thing that I do want to show you guys is this really cool like color shuffle, where if I click on, this is taking the color palette that I have set for this particular brand, and it applies it to the document. So let's see here. I guess this one is not as, it's not as apparent because there isn't as much to color to change, but you can see like how there's slight variations of, you know, the text is changing with the different colors here. So you have the option to just like kind of do a wash of all of the elements that are a part of the design and applying your brand colors to it. So just for fun, I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to come into the background. I'm going to start with the background because that's what I'm really focusing on. And I want to edit the photo because there are a ton of new photo editing features that we have available within Canva. They add new ones like every day, and I'm still kind of playing around with what works. Thank goodness, for those of you who have watched me before, you know how much I love shadows. And for the longest time, shadows were not a part of the new photo design kit, but they do have that. And the reason why I love shadows is because it creates dimension, it creates depth within your image so that when somebody is scrolling on Facebook, it's able to jump out at them rather than just being like a flat image, and kind of creating that depth and background, foreground, all of that good stuff. It makes it a little bit more engaging, a little bit more eye-catching. So that's my TED Talk on shadows. What I would love to show you guys is in the edit photo section under adjust, there are just so many cool things that we can now do with a simple image. And the one that has been by far my favorite, let's see here. I'm actually going to detach from background before I do this. And the reason why I'm detaching it from the background is, where did it go? All right, it's not showing up on this one. I do want to show this this particular item because I think it's extremely cool. All right, let's see if this photo has it. Okay. So see this color edit again. I don't know why it wasn't on the other one. But what this color edit allows you to do is take the bold colors that are a part of your design and change the shading, so that you can really make this work for colors that you are using on your designs. So if I go into this color edit here, I'm going to begin by clicking the one that's like the darker coral. And because we're working within my Book Blogger Mystery brand, I'm going to adjust the hue to something that's a little bit more pink. And watch the photo carefully as I begin to adjust these shaders here. I do the saturation. You're noticing like, wow, we're getting a lot more vibrant pink colors available in the image. Brightness. Now they're lighter. Now they're darker. So I'm able to begin to switch some of the colors within this image to really reflect the colors that are a part of my Book Blogger Mysteries. So this, for that purple, I'm going to drag it down to blue. I'm not really seeing as big a difference as I would like to in it, but there we go. Those are the ones. And then last but not least, I'm going to do a color edit for this beige color, which looks like it's going to be the background. Whoa. All right. So this is where you can see some big changes. Let's go to pink. There we go. Okay. So now that I've adjusted the colors in this image and kind of to give you a compare contrast, like we had a cacophony of colors in the original image, but now we've kind of muted it so that it's all reflective of the same color palette and the same hue. So let's go ahead and set that as my new background for now, because I want to be reflecting in this banner the colors that are a part of my Book Blogger Mysteries. And let me go back to, let's see what the brand voice is going to do. I'm really curious about using this. So use 5 or more words to describe what you want to write. Let's see, I guess a header, right? A header, welcoming readers who want to sign up to read and review an advanced copy of my book. Got to make sure that and review is there because that's what we really want. Okay, so we've got our magically generated words. And again, for some reason, it's telling me what I wanted, which I find to be not very helpful, but you know, it is what it is for the moment. We can't see what I've actually created. Let's go into the fonts. Let's take a look at my Book Blogger Mysteries. You can see all the different fonts that I've selected that are part of the brand kit. I'm in love with this handy casual font. I actually use that in my author branding too. So like there's that nice connection between both me and my books. I'm going to take the line spacing up and then let's make this readable for you guys. I'm going to come into the font color and we'll start with this. And then this is my new, I'm clicking on the effects menu now to create more readability for the font. And my new favorite item, you know how much I love using neon because it kind of makes the information pop. But what I'm loving even more is this new effect that's called outline. And I can take my, I can select a color that really just outlines the text and just makes it like, you know, more focused, more, you know, bold and in your face so that people will be able to see the text against the busy background. So I'm going to drag the thickness up here so you can see that as I make it thicker, the readability becomes more prevalent. And so now we can see what the AI came up with and, you know, join the team and be the first to read my book. Not rocket science in regards to what they came up with in this case, but it's a start. And it is, let's see, how can we make this? I mean, it's pretty clear what I'm asking. And what I'm going to do is add in my little hand review, my book. I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting the line spacing just so that it's not as crowded together. I am going to change the color just a little bit. I think I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to come up here and just drag it. So it's not quite white, but it's also still has a little bit of color to it. All right. And to read and review, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of my book, now we're going to have some fun with the brand of the book brand. I'm going to come up to my, let's see, text. I'm going to add in another text here. Now this is a heading, and I've always been curious as to why these are the items that always show in this text box area. because you can see that I have, you know, a subtitle selected as well, and a title, but it doesn't show in this list, unfortunately, but not the end of the world. I'm just going to switch to the font that I use for my book title, and I'm going to put in Over My Dead Blog, which is the name of the book. And let's see. Another trick that I have been utilizing recently, even though Canva does have really nice lines to help you kind of find the middle of the page, I've been just finding that dragging things to the end, to the edges of the design and making sure that everything is aligned center is also a very easy way for me to make sure that everything is aligned properly. So I've got my book title listed here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Of course, we can't see it because of the current design. But what I'm going to do is, referencing the cover that I made for Over My Dead Blog, is I'm going to switch my colors and go back to that handy dandy effects. And I think this is actually exactly so that it was reflecting what the title looks like. And just to kind of prove my point here, I'm going to go over to my all my mock-up images that I have for Over My Dead Blog. And you can see the cover now kind of is reflected here in my header that I have. Oops, deleted the wrong thing. And one more item. If I go to the elements and I'm going to pull up my skull and crossbones. I love having a skull and crossbones. I know it's not very cozy, but to me, it just it lets people know that, hey, yes, you're going to get something that's fun and warm and cozy, but you're going to get you're going to get some murder with it. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to add my little crossbones into my, my design. And now that you can see that I'm like clicking on it, it's like, why can't I reach my crossbones? And it's because of the positioning. The font box is now over the crossbones item. So I want to show you guys the new positioning tools that I really love as well. And that's going to be in the layers section. I use a lot of elements in my designs. It could be just like a post for social media, and I have like a whole list of items in that that one design itself. And the layers really allows me to access the element that I'm looking for without having to struggle or like trying to highlight the right thing if I have items that are stacked up on top of each other. So again, I'm going to click on my skull and crossbones, and I'm going to drag it so that it's actually in front of the text. So that when I'm clicking on it or I'm clicking on it, I don't have to it's no longer hidden behind that text box, and I can continue to make adjustments. I can continue to move it. And I like the idea of having it. I'm actually going to make the color a little bit lighter than the text itself, because I want the end of the bones to show, to be distinctive. I'm glad you agree with me, Rosalie. I don't know. I love skulls and crossbones. It's a weird thing. I love having it on my covers. So now we have this, we have a clear call to action in this banner that I've created. Join the team and be the first to read and review Over My Dead Blog. And just to kind of drive the point home and to make it a little even more cozier, I'm going to add in my logo, which is something that I also designed using Canva. So I'll put my little logo in the middle. And as I'm looking at this, I'm like, I got to get rid of this background because it's too much. It's too busy. Sometimes if I do have a background that has too much going on, what are some ways that you can, remove the busyness. You can do blur. And with blurring, you're able to kind of soften the lines so that people aren't as drawn to like all of, especially in a bookshelf, they're not drawn to like the regimented lines. Sometimes there are titles on books that you don't want displayed. So this is a way that you can, really tone down the intensity of the background. And another item that you can kind of fall back on is you can just make the contents in the back a little bit bigger so that it becomes less, there's less detail for people to see. So you can see here, if that looks 1,000 times better, I'm still going to do something different with the background, just because for the sake of trying things out. But you can see like just how those simple changes to the background design just made the readability kind of up itself. So that's always a fun tip. I'm going to duplicate the page. And when I'm in the process of designing and I get to a point where I'm like, I'm kind of happy with what I have, but I think that things can be better, I always duplicate my work because, I could be making additional changes and be thinking like, you know what, I really liked how this looked 10 minutes ago. And instead of hitting the undo button a million times, I can just go back to the design that I started with and that I was happy with, but I wanted to play around and I wanted to see more. So I'm going to leave page 1 as is. Going to delete the background from page 2, and we're going to play with some AI images. How to find the AI images in Canva is always changing. I would love for it to be a little bit more prominent. Sometimes in the photo section, it will occasionally pop up that's like, hey, you're not finding what you're looking for. Like, type in what you want to design and we'll make it for you. The easiest way that I have found to access the AI image creator is through the apps menu. There are so many apps that they have that if you have subscriptions to all these different services, you can integrate them into Canva. I actually have linked my Google Photos with my Canva app so that anytime I take a picture of Evie, it like uploads into Google, which then I can upload into Canva and work right into a design. There's a lot going on and it can be overwhelming, but I always go down to the popular section because that's what most people are utilizing. And that's where we're going to find our magic media section. There's so much going on here and it changes daily. Now we can do videos, which is really cool. And especially if you're thinking of making a trailer for your book and you're like, how am I supposed to, find videos that capture exactly what I'm thinking of in my mind? This is a great place to start. You can see that they're slowly rolling it out. So my invitation hasn't arrived yet. I don't know why. As someone who uses Canva a lot, I would have thought that I would get access to that pretty quickly, but alas. It's a pretty cool feature though. If you go to Canva's website, to their marketing website, they do a nice demo of it and it looks really cool. But I don't need a video for this particular task that I'm doing. I am creating a banner that is going to go at the top of my ARC sign-up sheet. And I'm trying to think what is going to be, what would be best. Something that is simple, something that is fun, something that is inviting. Let's see what happens with what these words are in my head. Half of the battle is coming up with the description to like actually capture what you're thinking of, because it could be very, very literal with how it's interpreting your words. So I'm going to do a pink. Let's see. I'm going to do a magenta background with purple flying books. So I'm just picturing just like a background that has like books peppered around it. let's see what happens with what this is going to, how this is going to interpret my words and what's in my head. Let's check out these styles, because the styles are very wide ranging. There is, if you want something that looks like a photo, they have different styles of photography. My favorite in this instance is the vibrant one, but it's because I just love color and think that color is so important and eye-catching, and really the first thing that anybody is going to see when they're looking at an image. So that's my favorite one under the photography. Digital art is a little bit different. I have been using a lot of concept art when I am creating people. If I am creating a portrait of my characters that, if I'm, doing some introductory posts for, meet Winnie, meet her brother, meet her best friend, meet her love interest, all of that stuff. I find that the concept art is really cool. The 3D can also be really helpful. And I think I might actually use the 3D to do this flying book, because it's going to create a little bit of depth. And I love shadow, I love depth. I think that it makes an image pop. So let's just see the 3D style for now. And then aspect ratio. So we've got portrait, landscape, and square. Pretty self-explanatory. Most of the time I operate within the square boundaries, because then I use the Canva tools like background remover to take away the background, and I can really use the main image as a stamp on certain items. But because this is a banner, I'm going to use this landscape. And you'll notice at the bottom that it says 1 of like 497 credits. I have yet to have that change. But I have encountered instances where I have, generated so many images in a day, and it's like you're cut off from generating images. All right, so we've got, this is our digital 3D art concept of a magenta background with purple flying books. They hit the magenta out of the park. Flying, not so much. This is the one that is calling to me the most at this point. And two things just happened. It loaded onto my image, and then also it can be found in your uploads folder. So any photo that you select here is going to be saved in your uploads folder. So if you're like, oh man, like I deleted that photo, but I really liked it, how do I get it back? All you have to do is travel to your uploads folder. And from there, you can move it to wherever is best for you. I don't understand the flying concept. I guess this book is flying, perhaps. Maybe that book is flying. Not great on the flying part. This one also looks like there is a little bit of movement, but not crazy about it. So let's retry, and let's retry it with a different style. Fine art. Fine art is my favorite because I just love, I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to a cozy, I just think of the cozy books that just have the beautiful like paint. They look like they're painted covers. They've been either, watercolor, or they're painted with oil, or maybe they're even hand sketched. Like I just love that concept of hand drawn or hand painted covers. And so I love to use the fine art as for items for my backgrounds. So I'm going to switch to watercolor and generate again. I'm trying to think. Purple fly. Should I have flying purple books? Maybe I should have switched those. Also, the time that elapses. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh, yes. Sometimes when this works, it's so fulfilling. All right, getting rid of that picture. I absolutely love this one. And I absolutely love this one. And because I've clicked on both of them, you can see that it's actually uploading to my uploads folder as we speak. I'm going to duplicate my page so that I don't lose the items here. And I'm going to work with this one because I like the simplicity of it. There's not as many books that are kind of cluttering up my background. And now that we have it, we have to make all of these colors work together. So let's do that. I'm going to go to, first foremost, the transparency. Sometimes just like making the transparency, dragging it down a little bit is the way to go, because it makes the color less intense. So I'm going to do that a little bit because I do want, the magenta is way too vivid. So I'm going to drag down the transparency. I'm going to adjust the overall tint. I think I want it to be a little bit more pink, more red. I'm trying to figure out what the right color is. Let's bring up some shadow. Or no, let's not. This is the one time that I don't want shadow here. Make the whites a little brighter. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Let's take a look at the color edit. So now we have that color editing capability again, which I just absolutely love. So I know I told it I wanted magenta, but I actually don't realize what magenta looks like sometimes. So I am going to do a little bit of adjusting to the color so that it's, I guess, a little bit more coral based, because that's definitely where my color scheme is going. So I'm just dragging it like just a little bit up to 5. Yeah, okay, that's working for me. Okay. As for the purple, I wonder what would happen if I brought it down to the teal color. Whoa, that changed everything. I don't like that. Here we go. Okay, I like this too. I like having the colors, I guess the differentiating colors less intense, because again, I still want the focus to be on those words, even though I've got this nice background working for me. So I've made those adjustments to the color. And again, I'm just going to continue to drag down the transparency a bit, just so that it's not as in our faces. Now I'm going to make Over My Dead Blog even larger, because we're still running into a little bit of an issue where the background is kind of like taking over. And we don't want that to happen. We want it to be very clear what people are signing up for. This is not working for me, this color stuff going on here. Let's invert it with some white. Whoa. Isn't that wild? Like how did that just change the composition of this design? We went from this to this, and this is just like so much more on brand. It's light, it's bright, it's inviting, it's not harsh, it's not dark. This is what I'm looking for. And I just have to find the right balance. Here we go. Do a little bit more line spacing and drag down. Let's condense the words a little bit so that now you see like the books in the background are no longer kind of at war with the words. It's really like the words are popping off out of the books. And let's see here. I have yet to find the right color for that skull. All in a day's work. No. I think I'm going to do the same color there. And just drag, ooh, here we go. Drag the transparency down so that it's just hinted at, but it's not kind of overwhelming. I'm going to make this just a little bigger with my logo. I don't want the cat's ears, though, to take over. And there we go. We have our banner. We went from this to this. And I'm really, really happy with how this looks. I'm really happy with how the Magic Media came out with the second try. And that it must be based on the style, because I guess, who knows, watercolor is more fluid. The 3D model was trying too hard to, I don't know, be real, be 3D. So this looks really great. I know that I saved this image to support the background, but honestly, I think having less books is more, and it'll help not overwhelm readers. And because I'm no longer even entertaining this, I'm going to delete it. So now that I have this banner, and I'm going to just save it with my book blogger mystery arc sign up banner. I've learned the more specific I am in my titles, the easier it is to search for my work. If you do write multiple series, or you have multiple, brand kits that you're juggling, I found that, using this little identifier, so for this BBM, Book Blogger Mysteries, can help me really find what I'm looking for when I'm searching my my projects. For example, if I look up things for my Glenmeyer Whim Mysteries, I can see all of the active projects that I have, and can easily reference those. So we did pretty good with those Magic Media opportunities. We tried out the brand voice, both from our brand kit and from our from the design itself. I'd like to do one more design run through with you guys. And to do that, I'm going to go back to my home page. I'm going to, let's see, just looking at these other Magic Edit. That's actually been really cool. These Magic Edit is something that if you find an image that you're like, oh, this works really nicely, but the person is holding a daffodil, and my protagonist, has a scene where they're holding, lilacs. You can use this Magic Edit to swap those items out, which is really cool. So you can take an existing image and update it to really fit the scene or the need that you have. So I'm going to go into my existing graphics that I have for my Book Blogger Mysteries. I like to keep all of my graphics in one place or in one project, because then I can use the elements from them to build on each other, so that I'm not having to constantly go in and search my library for that information. And it also helps establish, the colors that are used, the fonts that are used. It makes things really easy because you can just copy and paste going forward. So I'm just going to add a page to this particular social media graphics. And I am going to prepare another cover reveal post, because tomorrow on our Bookish Moment platform, I am showcasing the trailer that I made to reveal the cover of the Book One in the Book Blogger Mysteries. So I've been creating graphics to kind of tease that and encourage people to attend. One thing that this particular post breaks, one of my cardinal rules, is I'm not a huge fan of putting a lot of text in a design. I I really like to rely on the caption to deliver most of the information. But when it comes to events and kind of making sure people know where to go and when to go, I do find that this, stuff of having it on YouTube when, join us on Friday, October 6th, that kind of information is really helpful. This particular little item here is something that I actually use the brand voice for. And I ended up changing a whole lot of it. And in all honesty, I would probably just remove this and have ready for some bookish fun, a bookish moment, so people know, okay, something's going on. And then in the caption, I would kind of explain a little bit in more detail, like what exactly is happening. Because the text isn't going to be what grabs people's attention for the most part. It's going to be the image, the color, the elements that are being used. So on this new design, I am going to use the same like cover reveal item. So I just copy and pasted it right from there. And I'm going to take some of the same text, bookish moment, join us, YouTube, copy. And this, because I'm doing this all in the same project, it's like really easy for me to reference all of this information. I don't have to like go searching for it. I don't have to retype it, all of that good stuff. I'm going to just reformat how this looks, align it to the side. And because in theory, I'm going to be posting this tomorrow, I'm going to type today. And I'm going to switch the color. How do I feel about this? It does take away from the YouTube, like people being able to identify the YouTube red, but that red is so apparent and obvious. I'm gonna try this out. All right. So we've got all of our information in this corner, so that it's out of my way, and I can focus on making something up here and making that pop. Let's do something. Do a heading. Let's see here. All right, so how fancy does global cover reveal sound? All right, so the reason why I wrote global cover reveal is that I wanted this magic write option to pop up. It was not popping up until I actually began writing something, because I want to show you guys how this operates. We can apply my brand voice, and we're still under the book blogger mystery, so it would be pulling in those the book, the fun, casual, cozy, book loving vibes. It could rewrite it. It could make it more fun, more formal, sprinkle fairy dust, which I don't know what that means, but I'm definitely going to click on it. So I'm just going to add a little bit more context. Let's do cozy mystery lovers. Join me for the global cover reveal. Who am I, Taylor Swift? All right. Let's see what happens here. Magic write. Sprinkle some fairy dust on this. Whoa. So let's see what fairy dust does. Okay, greetings, fellow seekers of cozy mysteries. I invite you to partake in a global spectacle, the grand unveiling of our latest cover. Join me in this enchanting event and let us revel in the magic of the moment. All right, it's a bit much. However, I would use some of that in a caption. I'm not going to put that much text on a design. I would never recommend putting this much text on a design. Even if you are doing a quote that somebody gave you and says your book is the best book in the world. You know what? Take that, your book is the best book in the world, and have that just be your quote. I encourage you to stay away from using this much text on a design, on the graphic. Put whatever you want in your caption. As long as you're getting somebody to look at the image and pulling them in, then they go to that caption and read all of the information that you want them to. They're not going to look at this. They're just going to keep scrolling. So while this gives me some good details to think and consider and putting in my caption, I'm not gonna use this. So let's go back to that magic write. Let's have it rewrite. Welcome, Valley Cozy Mystery enthusiasts. I extend to you an invitation to witness a global spectacle. They really are leaning hard into global spectacle. Grand unveiling. Bask in the magic. So rewriting doesn't do, I guess it shakes it up a little bit, but not a whole lot. Let me go back. I'm going to go back to my original Cozy Mystery Lovers, join me for a global reveal. Let's make it more fun. Hey, fellow fans of Cozy Mysteries, let's unite for a grand global cover reveal. Okay. Let's go back and let's apply the brand voice. And again, it's going to be pulling the book blogger mysteries. Are you ready to uncover the world of crime, clues, and cozy settings? Definitely using that one. Join me for a big global cover reveal and uncover, so many covers, your next thrilling read. Okay, so I like the wordplay that we've got going on here. I'm literally going to copy this and put that in my, remember, a sticky note to remember to use that, because I absolutely love the world of crime, clues, and cozy settings. It's good. All right. So basically what all of these magic write things are doing is it's making it longer. And that's not what I want in my design. So let's get rid of the word global and see if it makes this sound any less pretentious. Make it more fun. Aficionados, get ready for the big cover reveal. All right. This gives me enough. Cozy Mystery fans, get ready for, let's do Winnie's big cover reveal. Because okay, perfect. Because I was thinking, okay, what else am I going to put as an image on this item? Winnie's big cover reveal. I'm going to use my magic AI thing to make a portrait of my main character that I can put in there. So it kind of gives readers a face to put to the name. And while sometimes I'm not a fan of using real photos of people to associate my characters with in a design. If I do that, I usually cut them off at the mouth so that you don't see the eyes or the nose or anything, so that there's still some mystery and the reader can leave it up to their imagination to create them. But when it comes to using watercolors or using, some of that concept art items, we can really lean into kind of the imaginary at that point. And it, for me, it doesn't feel as so defining of this is what my character looks like. It's just a drawing of what the character might look like. Okay, so we've got our call to action. Cozy Mystery fans, get ready for Winnie's cover reveal. After all of that help from the AI, that's what we'll come up with. I'm going to go down to my magic media. I'm going to do a portrait. Again, being very specific, a portrait of a young white woman with long black hair and dark blue eyes. I think that encompasses her enough from a portrait standpoint. So let's go to our styles. I told you I've been having really a lot of fun with the concept art. I'm going to show you guys kind of the style that comes back with this. It definitely invokes to me that fictional, hand drawn, this might be the character, but it might not, because the features are so, they're so defining. Oh, she looks very upset. She looks too unhappy. Okay, portrait of a happy young white woman with long. All right, let's see that. See how a simple word can kind of throw things off. She looked very, very serious. And that's definitely not what we want on a cover reveal. Oh my goodness, perfect. Let's do this one. Another item, you know, I didn't specify like the color of her shirt. It's really leaning into the fact that she has blue eyes. Although I do not believe that this image shows a woman with blue eyes. That looks more like hazel or gray to me. So it is what it is. But let's edit this photo. First, I'm going to background remover because I don't want that blue. Now we have without that background, although I don't know what's happening up here with her hair. So we're going to go in, and what I'm doing is I clicked on the dials on the background remover, which allows me to go in and actually manually make changes myself. This is where my skills on a computer really take a hit because it's so hard for me to use my mouse to draw these items. So for, you know, just for the sake of kind of showing you guys how this particular editing tool can work, like, okay, her hair's all over the place. It looks like a mess. Let's make the brush size a little bit bigger. Let's get rid of some of these like flyaways that she has so that she's a little bit more poised. And let's do it here. I have to concentrate extremely hard on this. All right. So there. So it just makes it look a little bit more polished. So we go back to the image. Now, one thing I want to try to show you is the magic edit. And there is a chance that once I click magic edit, all of my background stuff is going to disappear. So fingers crossed that that doesn't happen, but okay, cool. So brush over the area to edit. I would like to change the color of her shirt. So I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger so I don't have to spend too much time making those changes. And again, my unsteady hands are going to be the downfall of me. Oops. All right. Now we've got some parts of her hair. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's just pretend that I did that cleanly. Continue. All right. It will be created for using AI. Let's give her a purple sweatshirt. And a sweater. And generate. Who knows how this is going to turn out. Well, you know what? This isn't half bad. That came out pretty nice. I mean, the fact that I made a complete mess of the brush, but let's see if I go to my background remover and I might be able to erase that upon. Oh, it did it for me. Nice. Well, look at that. So now we've got a face that readers can put to Winnie's cover reveal. We've got a little bit of a tease with the cover reveal happening. And now we just need to fix this, fix the fonts here and do something with my background. So Cozy Mystery fans, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these two separate lines of text so that I can manipulate them individually. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to control copy and delete this line here and drag this up. So now what I can do is I can use separate fonts to kind of call Cozy Mystery fans and then get ready for Winnie's grammar for Winnie's cover reveal. So let me go into my fonts here, that my brand kit that I've uploaded. And I'm going to actually just look at some of my uploaded fonts and see like what is going to be the most cozy mystery. This is perfect. Cozy mystery fans. Do I want it all caps? Nope. And then I think actually another word of caution is, as much as I love fonts, I do have to make sure that I don't use too many different font types. And because I already have a Bookish Moments logo going on in the corner, as well as some like fonts popping up on the cover, I do want to be very mindful that, okay, I've got a lot of font possibilities here. So I'm actually going to use the same font, handy casual again. I'm going to use the same font that I'm using down here for the date and time information, so that there's that nice connection between the top of the image and the bottom of the image. This is another hotkey that I really love, where it can make everything uppercase for you, which instead of holding down the shift key or putting the cap locks on and forgetting, this can sometimes be helpful. I can't decide if I want everything to be in caps. I think I do, because it makes it more exciting. So let's make the Cozy Mystery Fans just a little smaller. Okay. Now we need to do our background again. And let's go back to my Magic Media. I'm going to do books. A light purple background with books flying around. And we used watercolor last time to really capture that, so let's generate. Oh my gosh, I love this even more. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. I love all of these. Save, 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 save. Oh, wow. Okay. I love all of these. However, for this particular design, I'm going to use this one, because I think that it's going to include the least amount of like distraction for in the back. And let's do some editing for this photo. And Magic Eraser. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to get rid of it. Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, so it looks like the book is kind of, I want it to look like the book is propping up that title or that call to action. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now we're noticing, okay, well, Sarah, all of your stuff in the corner is going to get lost. Back to one of my tried and true tricks, the smear. I love a good smear. And really, this is just an element that will pop the information for me. Go to my layers, drop it all the way back. Actually, I think I'm going to have Winnie behind it, and then there we go. So we've got all of our details here. I'm curious about what the border is. The border, I do wish that this border element that they've added would encompass the actual element, not the border of the element itself. because I do like things to have borders to them. So my trick for doing that is creating a double of the element that I've just used, aligning it first, and then just making it a smidge bigger, positioning it in the back so that you have that depth. I'm going to change the color here to purple. Or pink, which is going to be better. I think that this one is. And then just to do a little bit of making everything line up the way that I want it to. Here we go. Miss Winnie, I'm going to make her a little bit bigger so that I can drop her shoulder down. Still not. Let's see, what happens if I flip? I don't like how she looks when flipped like that. If you got what I'm trying to work on, is see how the cutoff of her portrait is like a smidge too far. So let us just kind of create an element to fix that. It's got too much going on. Here we go. So what I will do is I will take the color and I will use my eyedropper image to reflect her shirt that she has here. And then I'm going to position this all the way to the back. And bring it to her front. There we go. Make it a little smaller. So these are just some photo editing hacks that I like to use to make sure that everything everything lines up and looks crisp and clean. It's really nice. I really like this. Just some finishing touches on the title to capture people's attention. Let's see here. What am I going to do? So now what we're doing is we're kind of inverting the color scheme that we have down here, where the white is being supported by the coral. Up here, we have the coral being supported by the white. I want to make sure. I think I've been staring at my computer for too long because these colors don't look the same to me. And so now we have like a nice, fun decal to use to advertise tomorrow's post. And we did a lot of this with AI generated images. And yes, we needed to make some tweaks to make them work for us. But now people, when they look at this, they'll be like, okay, get ready for Winnie's cover reveal. And, you know, they have this nice personal image to have that they wouldn't have otherwise. It would have been like, well, who the heck's Winnie? And maybe that question would have prompted them to read more and learn more about who Winnie is exactly. But I don't know. There's just something about like the magic of seeing your characters come to life. It's such a really cool feeling as an author. And I'm excited to use this tomorrow. So we've covered a lot of ground. We've been at this for about an hour and a half. We've created 2 images. I promise that once you have these items under your belt, you can begin to create images within 5 minutes. You know, this morning, part of my routine every day is opening up Canva and creating a design. I've gotten it down to where I can have something created and posted within 5 minutes. And now that I have this ability to have it like create captions for me using that document feature. Again, you know, we were back here and we got some emojis, we got some hashtags that were provided for us. you can really begin to see how this can help you streamline your workflow, and how it can really enhance your ability to be proactive on social media, creating that content that we're, required to in order to promote our own work. This can really help streamline. And as you take the time to invest and set up these shortcuts, like, again, you're not going to open up Canva on day one and be able to do all of this within 5 minutes. You're going to spend some time building your brand templates. You're going to spend some time discovering what fonts work best for you. You're going to just spend time figuring out what your author brand is. If you need place to start, I just recommend, what color scheme are you using on your website? There's a color palette right there for you. One thing about the color picker within Canva is it only is limited to items that are in Canva. So if you do not know the color numbers for your website, and again, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, if I go to my brand kit, I'm just going to open up my author brand. If I wanted to add a new color, I have to put something on this color palette. In order to find that, you can, there are websites, there are tools online. I believe one of them is Color Picker. You just type in Color Picker, and it will allow you to highlight the image or highlight the color that you're looking for, and it'll give you the number that's needed. So there is going to be a learning curve as you are developing these items, as you are, figuring out what colors work, what fonts work. You can, if you want things all in one place in your brand kit, you can upload photos, you can upload icons, and these are external icons. These aren't this isn't stuff that you're finding in Canva, but you can have all of these tools in one place, so that you can, open up a new design and create something that is representative of you as an author or you as your books. And have it be engaging and have it be professional looking, and really be able to, drive home that this is who you are. This is what readers can expect from you in your books. It's a really great tool. There's a lot more that we could cover. Hopefully I will eventually get access to that, to this videos section, because I can't wait to start using that and see, what we're able to create. This is going to come, oh my gosh, this is going to come in so much handy for creating a reel. Like, can you imagine having a custom reel background? Like, the possibilities are endless. So there's a lot to look forward to. It's, definitely there's a lot that is fluid. It's in flux. It's moving. It's changing every day. But just play around. I encourage you to take the time to explore, and see what works for you. And if you do have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me. And if you realize that, Sarah, I have tried to figure out Canva and I don't want to do it, I'm always here to help you with my Books to Bundles designs. And I'm happy to make beautiful images for you and your books any day of the week. So with that said, I thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate folks taking the time to explore Canva with me. And I will be back with more as the Magic Studio continues to develop. Thanks again, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.